Krishna Prema. But still, it's not that there was no pain. For example, Jiva Goswami was serving Rupa Goswami very diligently, very sincerely, very humbly. One time, Vallabh Bhatta came, and at that time Rupa Goswami was writing his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And knowing that Vallabh Bhatta was a senior person, a senior devotee, also a learned scholar, out of his natural humility as a devotee, Srila Rupa Goswami offered his manuscript for correction to Vallabh Bhatta. Vallabh Bhatta said, yes, okay, I'll go through this. And then he suggested some corrections, and Rupa Goswami immediately agreed. Jiva Goswami was only a young person at that time, and he had been serving Rupa Goswami. And he was present there when this dialogue was going on. And he was very upset. And he was thinking, how can Vallabh Bhatta try to correct my Guru Sri Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami is perfect. There is no fault that can be found in his compositions or in his character, in his thinking, in his opinions. So when Vallabh Bhatta went to the Yamuna for a bath, on the pretext of serving him, Jiva Goswami also accompanied him. And on the way, he pointed out to Vallabh Bhatta that Vallabh Bhatta's comments on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu were actually wrong. Vallabh Bhatta had said there was something wrong in the composition of Rupa Goswami, but Vallabh Bhatta's observations were actually wrong. That was what Jiva Goswami said. And then there was a dialogue amongst the two of them, and Jiva Goswami actually proved that what Rupa Goswami had originally written or composed was actually right, and that it was Vallabh Bhatta who was wrong in pointing out that this was a mistake. Vallabh Bhatta agreed. He was very impressed with this young man's understanding and knowledge and scholarship. And he came back and praised Jiva Goswami to Rupa Goswami. He said, oh, what a wonderful disciple and nephew you have. He's so learned, so scholarly. And he said, I need to beg forgiveness from you because I dared to offer some corrections to your work, whereas actually everything is so right, it's perfect. When Rupa Goswami understood that Jiva Goswami had actually confronted Vallabh Bhatta, he was very upset. And he said, you don't deserve to be here. Vrindavan is not the place for those who are proud of their scholarship and who don't know the proper etiquette. So leave, go away from here. Jiva Goswami was aghast, but he never protested. It was painful for him that his guru was unhappy with him, but Jiva Goswami never even once, not to speak of verbally, even in his mind, he never found fault with Rupa Goswami. Rather, he found fault with himself. And ultimately, it was only at the intervention of Sanatana Goswami that Jiva Goswami was brought back. Another incident happened with a similar incident when another Digvijay Pandit had come there. And he was a mundane scholar, and he was taking everybody's signature on a victory declaration, wherein everybody acknowledged their defeat at the hands of this Digvijay Pandit. Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis immediately signed because they didn't want to waste their time debating with mundane scholars. They were very humble. So they said, yes, you are more scholarly than us, we are defeated by you. We signed it. But Jiva Goswami was outraged. So then he confronted the Digvijay Pandit, and he argued with him, debated with him, and ultimately defeated him and sent him away. And Rupa Goswami similarly also was not happy with Jiva Goswami and sent him away. Again, it was Sanatana Goswami's intervention that Jiva Goswami came back. There are numerous such instances when there are such apparent disturbances where one Vaishnava seems to be unhappy with another Vaishnava, or or there was some disruption in relationships apparently, and somebody had to intervene to sort out. So it's not that mediation beginning has come. Sanatana Goswami was doing the mediation before, but it was on a different platform. Even when we study the Chaitanya Leela and in the Bhagavad and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will see there are so many episodes where we see apparent conflicts, apparent disagreements, apparent hard feelings in the hearts of people. But it easily gets sorted out because everything is on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Because there is pure Krishna consciousness, it was easy to resolve everything. Otherwise, the only explanation for these things is that it is the nature of the material world. We are in such a world where there's always some or the other cause for disagreement, which interfere in the loving relationships and exchanges between people. So we can keep that in mind, that regardless of what formula we follow, because we are in this material world, there will always be some or the other disturbances that come up. When it comes to brahmacharis, life is definitely much simpler. Just a couple of days ago, we had the opening ceremony of the renovated brahmachari ashram upstairs here in the manor. And I had been mentioning how the reason why brahmacharis are able to stay together in a large number in a very small space, apart from their being Krishna conscious, is that their life is very simple. So because of the simplicity, they are able to come together and live comfortably. For a grihasthas to come and live together like this, it's next to impossible. Very hard. And for people outside to want to come and stay in a small space together is extremely difficult. Kali Yuga is the age of disintegration. Disintegration of relationships, disintegration of groups. Everything is splitting. People are not able to stay together because they're not able to have nice relationships with each other. So therefore for brahmacharis, it's much easier to have loving exchanges and to do it. So the brahmachari ashrams must actually all over the world be ideal examples from all points of view. We must set the standard in every respect for the entire movement. The brahmachari ashrams must be areas where the brahmacharis are exemplary in their behavior, in their conduct, in their attitudes, in their dealings with each other and with others. So the brahmacharis will be a source of inspiration for everyone to live together very nicely. So it's so important that brahmacharis must have loving exchanges amongst each other. Because if the brahmacharis don't, then the grihasthas will lose respect for the brahmachari ashram. And then the grihasthas themselves will become very cynical, very doubtful. They will lose the inspiration in their own Krishna consciousness. So for brahmacharis to actually set the standard is very important. And everybody is noticing. It is my observation that wherever there is a good brahmachari ashram that develops strongly, the brahmacharis are good in sadhana, enthusiastic in their service, very humble by nature, exemplary in their behavior, and they have nice dealings with each other. The community around the congregation also flourishes because they see this wonderful example in front of them. And they want to come and be with the brahmacharis more and more to get inspired in Krishna consciousness.